So was the birth of Jesus on December 25th? Question mark. So we can create a sliding time scale from the last 2,050 years of the Bible to maybe determine that, or his death. And then also the Gospel of Thomas story. And then you can relate it to me, Thomas L. Faust. 10/14/1979, but also in relation to like the Kennedy assassination or any of the massacres. But we can prove too if Jim Riley or Joe Zillig or Harry Race, Bernard LaChance, DJ Dave, Perlita Quinlan, Karen Foster, Country and Western, 1961 Amphibious Spaceman, the Blue Boy Boxes, the Bitted Bat 4, the GPS Paso Robo Rapist Night, Jim Hall, Bill Duvall, Doug King, if any of them, or DJ David, Perlita Quinlan, use that story to basically, you know what I'm saying, their hatred towards the four churches or not. You can use that to actually determine why whole chunks of technology don't work, and that some of those people had children and then dump them to evolve. Let's see, we also know, reference Duncan or Google Duncan, but also to comic books, female liking comic books. So we know where the Google Duncan chant came from with Perlita and Ellery, and the GPS Robo Knight and Karen and Don Wiley and that group. So we know why they but Bernard LaChance and them do use that whole thing from Michigan, why the Michigan stuff got jacked up with Joe and all them, because they're rapist abusers covering up for britches. Oh, we're gonna make a chip for you, Joe. The rapist barnyard piece of shit chip for you to solve, supposedly because you think you're some badass. Oh, the girl who liked comic books. See, we have the 1961 Oyster Cracker Man and the Bitted Bat 4, the Blue Boy Boxes, and the Comic Book Boy and the Tomb Raider Boy. CC. We can find out who are the ones who were actually going against Angelina Jolie. Was a male who's a fag. All-American. Yeah, guys. You guys think you're that fucking badass. Reference San Francisco. So now we can also warn Eric Schmidt and YouTube why they have problems out here and through the United States. And like I said, we know where the nightmare creators are. And Bernard LaChance and them and Elton Anderson seem to think it's necessary, but they did it on purpose to screw up people's brains and steal technology. Perlita's team Bitted Fat and Ellery's Can't Do It Bitted and steal the Bitted Wave. So we could prove it's Perlita Jones, Quinlans, and DJ Dave Ballamorad, Bernard LaChance. GPS Paso Robo Rapist Knight who stole shit, and Red Randy and Red Gordon, Jim Riley and them stealing shit and then making up a story. UCLA Blue, female wearing shirt, so we can warn all of the universities out, even to Boulder, Colorado. Like I said, Harry Race and Joe and them steal shit and tear it all up and change the story. Reference BioWare. So basically you have a group of fags that like to kill people and do role playing. How we had Joe Zillig at Michigan Dungeons and Dragons. So Dungeons and Dragons Dungeon Masters, right? The game controllers. And then we go Jim Riley, Joe Zillig, Harry J. Race, Bernard LaChance, DJ Bernard E. Freeman, the copycat, right? DJ Dave, Perlita Quinlan, Elton Anderson, Don Wiley, Doug King, Steve Jones, 1961 Oyster Cracker Man, the Bitted Bat 4, Blue Boy Boxes, the McDonald's Rapist, the Chair Rapist, the Team Bed Bugs, the Barnyard Rapist team there, and the GPS Paso Robo Rapist Night, and Ellery's Charles T. Ellery, the Jehovah Witness Joe said the kids aren't supposed to play Dungeons and Dragons, and then they run back to Bernard E. Fag, and that's what they do is their rape session. Like I said, their trophies is how many girls they fuck and then and then they dump them for sloppy seconds. Joe, let's see. So please, Joe, with your nose stuck up in the air and you're laughing with your YouTube shit, you're the biggest fraud on the earth. That's what you are, David. You're a mass murderer with Perlita. Let's see. Running around back and forth, and you guys run out with the Bernard LaCarney. Nobody wanted the Red Carney because that's what they would do. They took those kids, raped them, and took all their shit. That's why the parents threw the kids out, so they could take all the shit and then come back and change it all around. It's not a hard thing. And then the parents run off, and the kids go, "What? Where'd the mom and dad go?" Or yeah. It's not hard to figure out what you adults are doing for your favorite picks, the fat asses and shit. Judy Shepard in the right wing. You can just make a chip for each one of the churches, the 4 churches, the 4 pitted bat 4, who attacked the 4 boys and stole their shit. That's why they're anti-Jew and anti-Russian, because they stole the shit. That's why the Schwartzes are all messed up, the Beswicks. Let's see, me, Brian Miller, all the people who originally did it. The Godfreys, the Kentiers, the Pewlers. Joe sits there and takes all their shit and then professes to be Jehovah God and then switches to, help girls with Bernard. It's not really hard. And then they run back and forth sending their shit with the cowboy and Indian country and Western. And that's why you look like shit, Joe, because you are a piece of fucking shit. And so we can relate that to why the rocket exploded and the aircrafts are all messed up. That's why we don't want Joe touching anything, because it's obvious that he's a fucking terrorist, that small fry run in the Jonestown group with the Negroes. Yes, Joe and Perlita, it's not hard that you're chicken shit to see that you just used people and fucked it up with the Garney boy Bernard. So that's what they do for you, Bernard, since you're a terrorist and shit. They chip your fucking stupid ass down until you figure out something, hillbilly boy. Yeah, like I said, the sliding time scales, they go after Christians even though they told them to be Christians and shit. And so that's why Bernard and them poke eyes. Ellery and them poked eyes and chins and shit. So they're bitten. And that's why nothing works here in San Diego or any of that, because they're murderers and liars and thieves. It's all Joe's ever been, is a thief. Then they go, oh, I'm going to make New Bitten in New York or Michigan, but they really didn't. They just Bernard passed on his rape fucking genetics because he's a dipshit. And this is there on lies with his Carney drama story. Let's see. Oh yeah, and then you can also tell which monarchs they went after to assassinate as well. Other than that, Bernard, your team fuck up. And you ruined everybody's life multiple times with the Roman Knight doing the big poop with Don Wiley and Ellery, because you're a bunch of greedy, lazy asses. That's why you got the fat, nasty asses. And so, if I was the military or the police, the firefighters, the FBI, CIA, the NSA, I'd watch the whole collection group. I wouldn't care who you guys hiding in anonymous, this and that, flying back and forth overseas between borders. I collect all the information on the groups of you and then make a chip. There's several chips on your terrorist regimes or your religious cults. Chip it and then completely make an entire new military operation to save the ones who are active duty or the veterans, those people who worked hard, and the police and firefighters and all them, so they have their own. And the rest of you can fight over your pile of shit that you made, Joe, and trap you inside with the dial and stuff that you stole, Robo Knight. And then you can claim to be the badass I with Bernard and shit and Doug. But really all you guys did is make a piece of shit and lie with the cowboy and Indians. So there's your hand-me-down, Joe. Because you're a fucking piece of shit who stole everybody's stuff and fucked it up in the first place, piece of trash. That's why I don't respect you. And you guys covered up when Indian faded out. So like I said too, we can prove that they framed Aaron and Victor and Justin, and Perlita did, because she thinks she's some great fuck, when really she's the stanky ghetto Carney with Bernard and the Robo Knight. So you guys can be tough with all the money, but I'm going to use your money than the $19 trillion debt Team Faggot Cowboy made to make you guys pay back for the terrorist attacks and the massacres you programmed in, Perlita and Joe, because you like to fuck the dead, whispering fags. And you can pay for that shit, Joe. You can pay for that burial, that honor, the honorable burial and stuff that you screwed over from Greg and stealing our stuff and then lying to him and then jacking up other families because you guys are you're so proud and better than everybody else. Oh, by the way, so the assassination of Christ. So when they killed Christ, it actually, the women evolved because you men want to fight over who loved Christ more and who's more faggot. So yes, the women do evolve quicker and they better because they learn from the mistakes of the men. So if you men want to have a better life, then you have to stop going to war and fighting over who's top faggot. Because I could really give a shit who's more faggot, especially in a church.